Hey folks, Sinow here, and we're back with more Ascension series. Level 7, only level 7? Shit, get it together, Tyrone. Normal enemies are tougher, which means that they have more HP. Takes a bit longer to kill them. Playing as the Silent this time. Ooh, obtain a random rare relic for losing all my gold. That could be run defining. Particularly as the Silent, I feel like relics are more important to defining how you play in certain ways, or for giving you a kind of direction to head in that isn't just play terror, stab a lot, draw lots of cards. Makes going to these shops pretty useless. Maybe we can go around here. Campfire there. Yeah, there's a couple of campfires. Let's see what we get. Ice cream! It's the ice cream dream, baby! Let's go. Alright, well, this run is a wrap. This run is off to a very good start. Holy guacamole. We are doing good. Ice cream already coming in useful there for the extra energy that turn. Already! I love it. Such a good relic to have. It really does. It's like the kind of relic that this game should have, where it changes the way that you play. I actually could have fully blocked there, perhaps. Maybe prevent myself from losing 1 HP, but you know what? He's dead now. That's the important thing. So, Skewer would be a really nice pickup. Poison actually works a lot better if you have more energy to play it with, believe it or not. So maybe we'll go in that direction. See what we get here. Nothing, because we have no money. Remember what I just said? Yep. Excuse me. Poison tends to be a rather energy intensive archetype to go for, because if you don't play your poison cards basically as soon as you get them, you're usually very far behind the curve that you need to trace out to be doing any sort of decent. Which is why poison sometimes can feel like it's utterly ridiculously good, or it can feel like a total just bust. I'll take dagger spray because it's very reliable. Let's see here. Get the block on the go. Nice and easy. Floor 1, you've seen it a million times before. You know what I'm doing. Get the 8 damage out and a little bit of poison for the KO. See you later. Get a fire potion. I guess flying knee, because the energy is pretty much always useful to us, although I find that you don't need it quite as much if you're playing ice cream in the first place anyway. Let's be real here. But it can help out. This is an interesting little turn. And we got the full block. Very nice indeed. There's some cards in Silent that are just very reliable, you know? You've probably seen me play them quite a few times by now, and I would say Flying Knee is one of them. Especially with Ice Cream, it's very unlikely for me to have like wasted, well, I won't have wasted energy, right? That's the whole point. Upgrade Neutralize, this is an excellent opportunity to upgrade Neutralize because we're pretty well covered in other areas. It would be quite nice to decide to do this elite, whether or not we want to, because this way we have like 1, 2 more campfires, although I could take an elite on now and then get that campfire there, but it would be nice to have the choice perhaps later on when we're a bit stronger, because sometimes doing elites pays off. Sometimes there's quite a few opportunities. Yes, I've also had a lot of times where you do an elite and you get, there's a lot of relics in this game, I would say, that you get them and it's kind of just, oh, I guess that's nice, or that's convenient. Tends to be the way it goes. Some relics, obviously, you get them and you're like, what the fuck, ice cream? Yes, but there are quite a few relics that kind of just exist, or if you're not playing a certain archetype, you're like, oh well, okay, whatever, I guess. So doing elites, yes, it can help you get ahead, but it's not always the be-all and end-all, I find. Oddly enough. Nice and easy there. I don't really want to go... If you get Envenom, obviously Cloak and Dagger can be nice. It's a good block card to have overall. 6 block, plus the attack is good. But usually when you're playing poison decks, unless you have Envenom, of course, you kind of want like a really heavy block. I'll take it, I guess. Because Cloak and Dagger is good, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to do anything crazy like say Cloak and Dagger is bad here. Let's not go wild, shall we? If I stab this boy, he'll die of his own hubris. Meaning I only take 1 HP damage, which is quite nice. Okay, here we go. Nice and easy. Let's see. Noxious Fumes. Start of your turn, apply 2 poison to all enemies. I think this card isn't very good for the vast majority of the time. Even in a poison deck, I don't think it's great. Whenever you play a power, a random card in your hand costs 0 for the turn. Okay. Well, that makes Noxious Fumes a bit more attractive as an option, I guess. But still, I don't know. I find it very slow. If anything, it's better for just keeping poison up when you want to use Bane a lot than it is for really stacking up poison, unless you have Snecko Skull, which is, you know, the dream. But of course, not all of us can be so lucky. I know, I sometimes get people that say, oh, isn't Corruption a great card? Because when you get Dead Branch on Ironclad, you can just keep playing skills over and over. And it's like, yeah, you're not wrong. But having a card that revolves around you getting a single relic within the game to be useful, you don't see how that maybe makes it actually not a very good card most of the time. I have had one deck that kind of worked out on normal difficulty where I was kind of so fast that it didn't really matter, so I was playing Corruption a lot. That was a very weird deck though. It was very like unusual circumstances, I would say. Okay, so I picked up Leg Sweep there. I think Leg Sweep is great. Excellent card. One of my favorites actually for the Silent, as boring as it is. I know. I also think Poison Stab here would be good for kind of building up our main raison d'etre. Obtain a relic, but perhaps become cursed. Oh! No curse. Very lucky. 25% chance of that happening. A little bit of Sinow luck coming through there. Merchant's card removal always costs 50 gold. That's one of those relics. It's convenient, but it's not amazing. You know? Like I said earlier, folks. I'm not exactly flipping my biscuits, which is not a phrase that anybody ever uses. I'm not flipping my biscuits over the Smiling Mask. It's just, I guess, nice. There's quite a few relics like that in this game, unfortunately. Go with a Dagger Spray, and I'll just... I'll try and prevent all the damage, if possible, with the Leg Sweep there. Because if I get 2 strikes here, I have lethal... Or not. Whatever. I guess I can just go screw. Whatever. We got this anyway. Nice and easy. Every run I'm always sat there like, am I going to make it this run, folks? Who knows? It's a big mystery. But the past 2 runs of this, I've been killing it. So if I'm being honest with you, I'm feeling confident now. Confident enough to do this elite. Supply boatloads of weakness to it on turn 1. Maybe turn 2 I could set up some poison perhaps. Very nice indeed. We've also made defend cost 0 now. We can wait 1 more turn because we want to stack up the energy while we have the chance here. And it's go time, folks. Get that poison stacked up. Flying knee. Strike. We have 40 potential damage here with the fire potions just waiting, which is very nice. Leg sweep. Giving us 12 block. It's a shame that we don't have it upgraded for the full block, but that's kind of greedy, isn't it? And we have so much energy now that we're quite safe, which is a good feeling. What am I likely to play next turn? Am I going to want an extra energy? It may be worth me waiting to try. Well, I suppose with the poison here, we're quite close to getting the KO anyway, but let's save up this turn so that we have a better chance of getting the block we need next turn. Oh, of course, he's going to do the debuff turn, isn't he? Whatever. I've got this anyway. Too much poison. See ya. 35 gold. Bag of preparation. Start of each combat, draw 2 additional cards. So if I get offered anything like backstab, for instance, that's quite a nice card. Bouncing flask is great, and luckily because of ice cream, there's more chances that we can use it without it kind of crippling us. I'm feeling so confident here that I might be able to just go for the boss. But I feel like I'm doing well for poison, but a little bit of extra block and weakness from leg sweep will help. So I'm going to opt to upgrade this leg sweep first. Oh, it made a defense for free there from the noxious fumes. That was a good, lucky little pickup there. So unfortunately, poison decks can sometimes struggle against this boy, because obviously he does so much damage. Bearing in mind we do have the 2 fire potions to make it easier if we're a bit worried about this turn. Which I don't think we are, really. Because we're so defensively oriented that we can kind of just get away with it. Just patiently waiting for him to die. Only 2 damage from his big attack is pretty nice, huh? This is the archetypal poison deck. It's a combination of defense and poison. So he's going to take 13. It's a shame about the 2 less draw. Oh, this is a very bad split. This is such a bad split that I might actually just use a fire potion or 2. I think I will, actually. Hey, chances are we're probably going to get Sozu anyway. Been there, done that one. I just didn't want a full split from these 2 coming out. No, sir. Put the weakness on him. And just block up. Yeah, easy. GG, boys. Extremely easy. But then, of course, if you have the ability to just pop 40 damage for 0 damage, for 0 energy, sorry, then of course it's going to be easy, right? I have never used Corpse Explosion before in my entire life in this game, apart from maybe once. I think it's not very good. But in the interests of making this series interesting, bear with me. I'm considering taking it just to force myself to play a card that I never usually use. You know what I mean? Rather than just playing it safe all the time. Usually I would go for Alchemize here because I actually think Alchemize is quite a good card. Having those potions can really help out. A clutch defense, dexterity boost, sorry, or block or strength potion can really make a run. But you know what? Part of the reason why I do this series is that I wanted to force myself to play different archetypes and different, you know, like the last run I used Pandora's Box and it gave me a deck that I would never have made willingly. But the whole point is that I'm learning as well as you guys about the different ways to play Slay the Spire. Unavoidable elite floor. Very unfortunate. There's quite a few upgrades. Hang on. there's a double elite on the right. I don't want to do a double. I know that we're doing fairly well so far, but I think a double elite is asking for disaster. So the middle has a lot of fights. It has a campfire before the elite. The left path has a shop right before the elite, and then a rest, and then another rest here, and not too much more going on. So I think we can get away with that one more easily. Like I said, I don't think Corpse Explosion is a good card, but I want to try it. I want to give it a shot. And you know what? I might actually wait this turn. Well, I suppose I have 4 energy now, so I could get a little strike in to do some damage. It just feels so futile against this guy, and I'll probably kill him with poison, right? Yeah, might as well use the flying knee because it'll give me energy back anyway, so. Now this is the mistake I always make in this fight, is not playing around the fact that he does this big attack at this point. So let's take the Swift. Also, I went for Ectoplasm as my energy relic because having 4 energy is really, really useful. And I don't really like the inability to gain gold anymore, but it also makes some events not punishing for you as much. It's kind of liberating, shall we say, to not have to worry about it anymore. Oh, it's very unfortunate we just don't have the ability to poison this guy. Let's use the block potion. To death here. 1 HP! Still, no biggie. Using my potions effectively. I think I'd rather have Ectoplasm than Sozu quite a lot of the time, honestly. That's how much I really like using potions. Without Venomology, I don't know about this Cloak and Dagger that I'm being offered here. I mean, I suppose it is a better defend. This deck is going to be pretty defensive overall. Gain 5 max HP but lose 18. I think I can afford that right now. Bearing in mind I am about to do a big old elite there, so we have to be careful. Try and get rid of this guy. Oh, we actually don't have enough tax for that. That's unfortunate. I think it would be better here to try and concentrate on one than spreading out the poison with the bouncing flask. Because obviously the quicker you take out, especially this bird here who's just buffed himself, this buffed bastard, the quicker you take him out, the easier it becomes. Okay, so I'm going to take 12. I already have the block for that. I'll wait on the backflip, perhaps. See if I can just get some damage down. A Corpse Explosion would be nice here, actually. No dice. No such luck. So we've got 12 damage coming up. But we're going to knock him down. And I want to knock him down as well, actually. So let's get the extra Shiv out. Noxushium's coming through. Very nice indeed. Unfortunately, a bit of a waste, but it's alright. Oh, there's Corpse Explosion now. Of course. Of course. The game would never give me the thing that I want when I want it. That would be insane. Like, I suppose I could... No. Because if I blow him up, then it's only going to do 4 damage. Useless. Terrible card. Unless you've already won the fight, basically. That's what I always think of Corpse Explosion, is that basically it's a card that makes you stronger if you've basically... How many times can I say the word basically? in one sentence. It makes it so that you're stronger when you've kind of already won, usually. With some caveats, I'm sure there's some decks and situations where it works, but I feel like you're usually already doing well if you have a lot of poison to be blowing it up. I'll take Blur here because it's really useful for those turns where I'm kind of just waiting around. And I think I'll take the extra fight here for the Merchant. Okay, Snecko, this could be a bit of an awkward one, unfortunately. I'm a little bit worried that Lord Snecko, in your name that we pray, please be kind to me, could be a bit of an awkward one for us. So let's start off with loads of weakness and Blur. And see if we get lucky. Utterly useless. Utterly useless hand. Can't quite believe how bad that was. It wasn't even worth me using my energy, I don't think. I'd rather save it for a rainy day, so to speak. I mean, I guess a deadly poison for 3 is something. The nice thing about Ice Cream here is that I'm building up reserves for turns where things don't go my way. I.e. kind of now. Makes the fight a lot easier against Snecko, you know? Oh, free leg sweep! Snecko's back, baby! Look at that poison coming out. Very nice. Good times. Now we'll play Corpse Explosion, but you see... Well, I suppose that's a little unfair. Piercing Wail is a good one, as is another backflip. And I think we're a bit low on card draw, so I'll go for the backflip right now. Let's see. Ginger. Excellent. Curse cards can now be played. Blue Candle. Makes you lose an HP and exhaust the card. The next 2 chests you open contain 2 relics. That can also be quite nice. It would be quite nice to have Ginger. But then I'm doing a lot of damage through poison, not through attacks, which makes it slightly less attractive an option than it would have been. So instead, let's go for the boring play here. Well-laid plans will help us keep defense cards that we need. I do quite like Mind Blast because it's very free. You know? And maybe 1 extra backflip to be a bit cheeky. Because I just love backflip. I just think it's amazing. A secret weapon would be good for constantly using Bouncing Flask as well, though. In fact, I might go for that one instead. Okay. This is an awful fight. Awful fight. What did that make? Oh, it made defend free. I wanted leg sweep to be free there. So let's just apply boatloads of poison very quickly here. This Slaver tends to be the worst one, because he can also nerf your ability to attack for a turn, which puts you way behind. You don't really want to keep doing that. So they're going to do 19... They're going to do 27 this turn. So I could try and get something like Bouncing Flask out here, but there's so many of them, it's probably not worth it. So... I'm not sure whether I should try and conserve energy or just... I'll use a single Cloak and Dagger. How about that? So let's see. Like I said before. 13 plus 14, 27. I've got 26 block. I don't really need to use the weakness potion on him just yet. So let's just keep trying to stack up damage on the Slaver. I probably will regret not using the secret weapon this turn, but maybe next turn. Although I might have been better keeping backflip there. That was a bit of a gamble. So... have we got lethal on you? 19... I can do 3 to him. And he would be 1 HP off of lethal, which is just bad luck. So let's try and draw Corpse Explosion. We're going to take quite a lot of damage this turn, but really, really nice AoE there. Never would have really expected that to be the case. I actually think it was a bit of a waste there. I should have thought about Corpse Explosion earlier. I'm going to remember that combo now from now on. Sinow will remember that. So they're going to do what, 14 to me? I might prefer to have the Flying Knee for next turn because we have both Backflip and Bouncing Flask and Noxious Fumes. So having extra energy to use on the cards that we might potentially draw could possibly make this turn work out a lot nicer for us. And I'm going to use Noxious Fumes now to see if I can get a free Bouncing Flask. Nope. A free Defend though. It's quite nice. See, we want him to die, obviously, but we don't know if he will with the Bouncing Flask. Therein lies the issue. So I guess a strike is necessary here. And then Bouncing Flask. Oh no, we'll keep Leg Sweep because he hasn't got weakness anymore. And we know that with Leg Sweep we're very safe regardless of what we get. There isn't really any way we could lose at this point. So that goes to show you how much potions can really help sometimes, folks. When it comes to these nasty Zone 2 Elite fights. I would say the best time to use potions in this game is probably Zone 2 Elite fights. Old coin, when you have Ectoplasm, just cruel. I can't quite believe it. There aren't too many more cards that I'd want to put into the deck attack-wise, but I think Bane is probably one that I could get away with because when upgraded, it's 20 damage for 1 energy. I don't know if I've reiterated how incredibly ridiculously broken that is, but it's broken. It's real broken. Even unupgraded now, I'm going to do 14 damage to this guy. For what? Turn down for what? Let's keep my energy for next turn. Rather than using it to get a Shiv and some paltry block. Because obviously they're about to get aggressive here. 101 HP on Ascension 7. It's quite nasty. Leg sweeping him to apply weakness and keep the blur going. Obviously this fight punishes you for using lots of skills, but he's going to do a really hard hit next turn. So I want to get as much blur as I can right now. And hopefully kill this one. Ooh. I'm gonna have to get lucky with the RNG for at least 1 bounce on this cultist. Can he do it? Kobe! There we go. Phew. And I'll retain that defend for... yes, I'll retain that defend for next turn. Working out well so far though, folks. I'm being presented with challenges. I'm meeting them. What more can you ask for in life? If an employer was here, they would say, hey, you're really killing it out there. And I'd say, thanks. Who the hell are you? I don't have an employer. I work for Twitch. Not much we can do here, is there? He already has weakness. That's the unfortunate downside of this fight, having vulnerable in it, is that you just get to the point where you can't really do anything about it. Playing the power first so that the Bane is 0. Oh, I really hate this fight so much. Being able to exhaust curse cards would be nice, but they're already exhausting themselves, you know? Gotta go for as many defense as possible, perhaps. Just pray that we get a bit more block here so that the run isn't over just yet. Luckily, there's no, you know, energy issues. I can retain this. I barely survive. And that's with constant weakness. Just as well I rested before this fight, huh? Thank goodness for that. Ugh. Like, I don't really see what I could have done differently there, apart from having more draw cards in my deck. Maybe an upgraded prepared is what we need. Or something to help us draw, like an acrobatics. 23 gold and an anchor. Start each combat with 10 block. That'll help. Obviously, we gotta go for the left path here and rest. Just praying that I don't get any random fights here. I'm going to go for upgrade all strikes and defends. In particular on silent, I've noticed that upgrading defends when you have blur and stuff really helps a lot. I've noticed that upgrading defends on silent when you get a bit of blur going can really help you push those block numbers up. So that's a really nice pickup to have. Okay, Noxious Fumes has made Flying Knee free, which is quite a nice card to make free. Backflip. Initialize. Let's Secret Weapon the Dagger Spray and see if we get lucky. No, we didn't get lucky with making it free. Bit of a weak first turn here, to be honest with you. I'll retain Backflip for next turn because it gives us more options and the block, obviously. Deadly Poison on you. So if we do 9 here, he'll be down to 15. And they're going to do what? 12 plus 4, 16. So if I do this, if I retain Corpse Explosion, I might get a nice extra chunk of damage here. But see, I'm using 2 energy to do what? 10 to each of them. It's not great, is it? It really isn't great at all, especially because I can use Leg Sweep and Blur here for much better effect. They're gonna do 17. It just wasn't worth it. It really wasn't worth it in the end. I'll retain the Cloak and Dagger, I think, because it's safer. Although luckily we only have 3 blocks to start off with, which isn't a lot here. Just Corpse Explosion is so underwhelming. It really is. But hey, I'm trying out new things. So do we have lethal on this boy? I can do 14. I would bring him down to 18. Plus 10, bring him down to 8, and then a strike. So I can kill this one this turn. And shore up my defenses here. Yep. Actually, I should have shoved the other one. That was a waste there. Whoops. Misplay. My bad. My bad. Apparently in the last run, or was it the run before, I played Snekowai and there was a demon form there that I could have picked up, and for some reason my brain was just like, no. I don't want a demon form even though I already have an upgraded limit break that would totally make this run 10 times easier. Why would I do something as stupid as that? You just kind of get into a sort of funk sometimes playing this game. You don't quite think about everything as much as you should do. And I try not to go too slow because I know that, you know, people are watching. I don't want you sitting there watching me for 10 minutes think about one move, you know? Not that you often have to in this game. But still. I hope I go fast enough that people find it interesting, but not so fast that you're just totally bewildered as to what I'm doing every turn. So these are all good cards in their own right. Obviously accuracy plus, not really for this deck. But I feel like I have enough backflip going on. I've got 3 of them now, and I don't really want another dagger spray. Pardon me, so I'm gonna skip that. Lose all of your gold? Well, I've only got 9. So yeah. Here you go, fellas. And fella, I think. I'm not sure if that's a male or a female. Have my paltry 9 gold. Yeah, who's the sucker now? Laters, dudes. Not a lot of HP for doing this fight with. I'm a little worried. This could be a tricky one. Tell you what. To get this out of the way quicker... I shouldn't have done that. I should not have done that at all. But I need to start poisoning him as soon as possible. So I've got loads of block for next turn. Basically, I'll win this fight if I can start poisoning him and get the block on the turn that I need it. Which I should be able to do with this deck if I play cautiously enough, I think. There's utterly no reason for me to play defense right now. Not a single reason. So I can just sit here. Start building up energy surplus. Because the nice thing about Ice Cream is that once you get the energy surplus going, sometimes it actually just keeps up, you know? Oh, if I can engineer it here so that I get a free leg sweep for the rest of combat, I'll be in a very good position. It's 50-50, folks. Let's see. Yes! Come on! Very nice indeed. So I would take 1 damage, but I get rid of his artifact by using it on him. Which I think I'll do. Because it's only 1 damage, right? Plus I get to retain the survivor, which is quite nice. Yeah, I definitely want the ability to pop weakness on him now if needed. Okay, this is a bit of a crazy backflip turn here. Can we get away with using this, perhaps? So he has Noxious Fumes, which would be nice to actually play. Bearing in mind, though, that he's about to do 21... No, hang on. 24 to us, so perhaps I need to start concentrating on my block a bit. Okay, so we basically have enough now. I want him to die of poison so that I get the Noxious Fumes back into my hand next turn, so I don't want to play anything like Dagger Spray or try and kill that thing right now. So instead, I'll Flying Knee this guy, I think, so that I have more options next turn. And I'll retain Cloak and Dagger because I want some block, guaranteed. So he's going to take Corpse Explosion, which I'm not too bothered about right now, as you can imagine. What have I got left in my deck here? I just remembered that Mummified Hand only makes something cost 0 for the turn. So it's nice to have that apply to a 2-cost card, yes. But it's only for 1 turn. So it's not something to go crazy about. I feel like my tempo is off here. I don't have tons of energy and block when I need it for this turn. But here it comes, whether I'm ready or not. I think I might just want to keep the neutralize on him so that I have as much turns of weakness as possible. Even though I technically could have gotten rid of some of it on him. Not a full block, but definitely a pretty good shot at it, all things considered. And once this guy dies, I can start stacking up the poison on him, and hopefully the fight will go a lot quicker. And we'll wait patiently for next turn, getting the defend out. Corpse Explosion's back in my hand. Not that I'm particularly bothered, unfortunately. So again, 24 damage from him, 21 block. Not bad. I'll use a Flying Knee. And I'll leave it there so that I have as much energy as possible. Because the strike pluses are not a bad way to use one energy, but I just want to be cautious. Yes, here we go. This is what I wanted to draw on a turn like this. And I'll keep this energy and the backflip retained for next turn. Now we're beginning to go a lot faster with the poison. It should look a little bit less scary. Leg sweep. Backflip. He's going to do 30 this turn. I'm going to want to retain Bouncing Flask, I think. So I'm going to just do this for the full block. It's a bit of a waste of the Bane, unfortunately, but the more I can flask him, the better. Now that we've got the Poison Mill kind of generating. And let's blur and defend this turn. And keep the backflip. Unfortunately, he's got a nasty 16 strength right now, which is ridiculous. We're up to how much? 42 block here, and that's me using all of my resources, and he has weakness, so that's pretty terrifying. But luckily, the fight's almost over. In fact, Corpse Explosion could prove itself quite useful here. So I could do 88. But see, the thing is, I've already basically won. I might as well wait a turn and then for sure get the KO next turn. Just in case, I don't know, something bizarre happened there. Alright. So, Corpse Explosion, no. After Image, especially with the mummified hand, is a little bit more enticing. Nightmare, no, I wouldn't. This isn't a Nightmare deck. Although it would be nice to Nightmare Secret Weapon, but I would be drawing tons of secret weapons every turn when I need other things in that case anyway. So I'll go for After Image. It's not the strongest, but it can come through in a pinch. So going from 3 to 4 energy is basically necessary in this game for most runs. Going from 4 to 5 energy, not so much. And it might be nice to have the... Oh wait, that's not the Specimen, sorry. Excuse me, that's the Lizard Tail. No, I'll just go for the Cursed Key, I think, then. And if I get some more draw cards, it means that... Oh crap, it's the Time Eater. Well, it means if I get cards that draw now, chances are I'll be stocking up so much energy that whenever I don't have block to play, I can just draw until I have it. Although Time Eater is the one boss that kind of punishes that play. so to speak. Still, fingers crossed. Left-hand side has too many elites. I'm not feeling confident enough for that. In the middle, we can go for 2 campfires, then the elite, then a campfire there, and then another campfire there. There's quite a few cards in my deck that I'd like to upgrade, and I hope I can handle that. So we have 5 energy a turn now, which is just absolute opulence, ladies and gentlemen. The height of opulence. I don't even need that secret weapon right now. It's just a bonus, a little Brucey bonus. I wonder how many of you out there get that reference. So one of the reasons why I quite like this deck is that it feeds into my really weird inherent desire in this game to play defensively. I think I just made a misplay there, but never mind. Yeah, I kind of misplayed slightly. By slightly, I mean a lot. I need to get rid of him, don't I? I should have used the Shiv on him. I was too distracted talking about Bruce Forsyth. Because I'm a weird Brit. So that's 16 plus 9. 25. So we have full block. It's not the end of the world. Just have to be a bit cautious. I like to think that I haven't made any major misplays this run, but we'll see. I'm sure the comments will keep me in check on that one. I don't know, I guess? No. Just do that. I've got so much energy coming out now, it's ridiculous. Like, energy is no longer an issue for me. I'm effectively post-energy. I live in a post-energy economy right now. 11 gold, Swift. And let's see. Oh. You guys know that I'm very, very susceptible to taking footwork basically all the time. And with the amount of defense cards I'm playing, it could be worth it. Having said that, I kind of wish I took the backflip and then got rid of it there. It would have been a nice combo. Lots of free cards and stuff to play, which is very nice for me. Footwork, which made Dagger Spray free. Unfortunately, can't use Bane this turn. Bit of a tragic waste, really, overall. Probably a misplay that I made again there, but this deck is really popping off now. I think you can tell that we're in a good position. Let's see if we can make one of these cards free for the turn. Okay, Leg Sweep is a good one. Especially because these two boys haven't been weakened this turn. So we obviously have a vested interest in making that a thing. Let's play No, there's no point in Corpse Explosion. Shockingly enough, there's no point in Corpse Explosion this turn. If anybody in the comments is feeling brave enough to try and defend Corpse Explosion as a card, then by all means I'll hear you out, but I'm telling you now. It is weak sauce, IMO. Let's just blow it up. Get that blurred defense on the go and a secret weapon for next turn. Let these boys die to their own absolute hubris for trying to take me on. Secret weapon, Bane into her hands. So that he dies of natural causes. And so do you. And now we have lethal this turn. Very nice. This deck is really popping off, you know. So we're against time here. It might be nice to have dash already upgraded. I really wouldn't want to push it any more than that. if I'm being honest with you. But dash, especially when you already have things like footwork on the go, is hard to say no to. I've tried to say no to it. I just can't. I'm weak. Feckless. I think we're in a very good position here, folks. Like I said at the start of the run, I was pretty sure I was going to crush it. And so far it looks like I'm going to crush it. Let's end the turn. No. Let's Cloak and Dagger. And then go for the backflip, I guess. We have boatloads of defense now. And we'll be able to get rid of at least one of these boys. There's the dagger spray, very nice. That's kind of what we needed. I'd like to apply weakness on him, if possible, but we absolutely need to make sure that the 25 is going away now. Which means maybe using a poison stab and a neutralize. And I'm going to save up my energy for next turn, the 1 energy, and keep perhaps the... Well, he's probably going to attack, right? So it might actually be worth me keeping Survivor, just in case. I don't want to get too crazy with the hubris, even though I've absolutely got this one in the bank, in my opinion. Alright, you need to get out of here, first of all, mister. 16 plus 9 is 25. So if we use Flying Knee on him and retain Survivor, we have the block that we need, plus the extra energy and the extra card for next turn. So I think that's a better way of playing it. Ooh. Oh, footwork. Unfortunately, it's a bit overkill, so let's retain Leg Sweep Plus for this turn. The nasty one. Ah, and I can blur it as well. Excellent. Alright, let's just keep stacking the poison up on you. Can't touch this. They really can't touch this. Your boy is sitting high and dry. While these feckless baboons scratch me from time to time. There's the corpse explosion, even though we'd already won the fight, because as per usual, that's how it works. Unfortunately, we don't have enough, we're not running enough discard to make Reflex Plus worth it, but my goodness, what a card that can be in the right hands. So I think having Secret Weapon not exhaust here, I know that we're on the time meter, but it just means that we can stack poison more reliably. And you know what? I'm doing so well at the moment that I might want to try this, because you always get a rare relic from this. I know it sounds like I've gone absolutely bonkers crazy, but bear with me here, folks. Oh, free dash! The dream! Into blur. Flying Knee, which is essentially like a free attack for me now. Let's actually go. Let's actually go. Diamond Boys ain't nothing. Okay, we might want to keep the weakness up on him. Overall. What would I Secret Weapon here? Maybe a Poison Stab. Or actually a Bane would be good. It's a nice 14 damage that we can constantly Secret Weapon that when we're on the time meter. And I know it's like using 2 cards for 1 attack, which isn't great on time meter, but time will be somewhat of the essence. Excuse the what sounds kind of like a pun there. It wasn't my intention, I assure you. So he's gonna die in 2 turns anyway. We already have full block here. We can't retain anything, which is kind of a shame, but we at least know that he's gone. Like, he was on the clock, and the clock is about to run out. So instead, we can just concentrate on these boys. Nice corpse explosion bonus there. Okay, I'll give it that. That actually helped a little bit. Free backflip into more dazed cards, I'm sure. Yes, absolutely. Called that one there. Well, he's on the clock as well. Especially when you speed up the clock by about 5 hours by using dagger spray. Yeah. So I managed to do that elite fight without taking... Did I take any damage? I don't think so. At the start of each combat, discard any number of cards, then draw that many. That might be very useful for me to ensure that I get a poison heavy start, because I want to try and get poison going on the time eater ASAP. I also would quite like to make After Image innate. And maybe making Corpse Explosion do triple damage would also help a lot. Let's just try it, okay? Because who knows? We might be able to chunk him down. Because you know how Time Eater does that thing where he gets quite low health, maybe like a third, he heals back up. If I get lucky and I retain Corpse Explosion, I might be able to blow up the poison that I've already got at that point for triple damage before he would remove it anyway. Let's try it. For each curse in your deck, you start each combat with 1 additional strength. Don't really want curses in the deck in the first place, but at least that regret I have now has some usage. He's gonna do 7 times 3. Let's try this. Okay. Lots of nice free cards there. 17s are 21, so I actually already have way more block than I could possibly need. And I would like to start off with Bouncing Flask. Yes, he's going to use that annoying debuff where he stops taking damage, but I suppose if I build up the poison, then it'll eventually come through. They've changed this guy recently in the beta client, and I'm not entirely sure how. So bear with me, folks. I'm kind of finding this one out for myself still. What would I secret weapon here? Poison stab, I guess. Or neutralize. Let's do poison stab. Just keep the energy. I want to have at least a defend next turn, just in case. So now he has the turn where he doesn't have it. Okay, so they've basically sped up the fight a little bit, which I think is nice. If we strike and defend first, then Noxious Fumes has to either hit one of these two anyway, because it can't apply to a 0-cost card. The Mummified Hand, that is. Something that makes something cost 0 will never apply its effect to something that already was costing 0, if that makes sense. Keep up, folks. Actually, would have been nicer if I had used dash this turn for the damage and then next turn use leg sweep. So that was a misplay there. But we can retain it anyway, it will be fine. I don't really want to take tons of regret damage here. So I'm going to empty my hand out, and I will keep dash. Just so I can get the extra damage out. It's worth me taking the 1. I'm not going terribly fast here, which is a little concerning. Because he is shuffling loads of burns into my discard pile, and eventually I'm going to have to draw them. going to take this opportunity to do as much damage as possible and then retain the defend, which defend plus now is as good as a survivor, which is kind of wild. I was going to say maybe corpse explosion for 90. It's a good way to end the fight, huh? Shockingly enough, corpse explosion plus here. Coming through. Not really in the clutch, but coming through all the same. Very nice. Whetstone would allow me to upgrade 2 random attacks. Let me just check that there isn't anything here that I'd like to upgrade. Predator is a card that I would consider, because it allows me to draw more, and I already have too much energy as it is. So that might be nice. Let's take that, because I'm having too much energy issues. And then Whetstone, Bane, and Flying Knee. Okay, not bad. And I think taking the weakness potion will pay off. I'm pretty happy with the deck as it is. This is a slightly thick deck. THICC, thick deck, boys. That's what we're running here. But I'm about to hit him up. So I'm trying to think. The shivs are bad. Being able to draw more is very good, as is being able to retain more every turn. Being able to retain 2 cards means that I can sort of save for a rainy day if needed. And that could be worth its weight in gold for this fight. Let's see, what am I likely to play here? Probably not Bane or Bouncing Flask, actually. I'll probably wait for that until later. Maybe set up the defense this turn. We'll see. Okay, I guess. Sometimes it gets quite hard to think when you draw so many cards and you're on zone 3 and there's so many enemies, and it just all gets a bit much, you know. I want to get rid of him for sure this turn. I have a feeling he'll attack. I unfortunately don't have retain. But I definitely want less, what are they called in my deck? Less evil. Let's just say that. Well, that's the end of that turn, I guess. Strong plays, huh? You gotta love dead drawing. Again, another dead draw. I'm drawing all of the daze cards very early here. But that means the next couple of turns are probably going to be pretty tasty. No, can I... Why can't I use this? Oh, I don't have anything in my draw pile, that's why. Oh, weird. I almost just did not compute there. It's such an unusual scenario to have happen, but okay, I guess that's the point. We'll just retain that. I was wondering why it wouldn't let... Get out of my hand! Oh no, there's dash anyway, great. What I want to play here... I don't really have enough block, actually. Maybe something like... Predator means I'll take less, because Bane counts as 2 hits. Although if it's the last enemy in a fight, as we discovered last time, it doesn't do the spike damage for the last hit. So let's leave it like this and keep the Bane. I mean, we're very safe at the moment anyway. Look at all this. That was kind of ridiculous, you have to admit. If we had something more like a Shiv deck going on and we weren't fighting the Time Eater, maybe Choke would be good, but at the moment I'm not really sure about it. Would I like to play another Footwork? Well, again, because of Mummified Hand, it's actually kind of hard to lose with it, isn't it? Unless I get very unlucky early on. I just draw like 2 Footworks and no blocks for the boss. I'm going to play it safe and rest here, because we don't have that much HP. Fingers crossed that we get a win here. I have a weakness potion that I can save for when things get nasty, which is good. So I want to try and apply as much poison as possible here. And start maybe getting some block on the go. Okay, this is nice. Blur, and I think I'll use Neutralize. Unfortunately, we don't have Retain yet, but that'll come pretty soon. Six. There's well-laid plans. Obviously Bouncing Flask because it's so useful. And then I'll block this turn. I only have 2 cards to play next turn, which is a little scary. And I haven't left myself with any block cards, but we'll see. Okay, he's only going to do 18. If I weakness now. Oh, it would be nice to have After Image, but it would also be nice to Footwork. I think the Footwork will be more useful. Just now. I think I a little bit too much hubris there. I could have played that better. But we've kind of gotten started now. Bearing in mind that we're retaining 2 cards a turn. I want to try and keep this Corpse Explosion for as long as possible. Build up the poison while keeping my block up. And then right before he decides to do the heal, blow him up. That's the dream play here. He's going to do 33. I want more poison. Backflip and Corpse, I guess, for next turn. I maybe need to take it a bit slower. I'm playing too many cards here. Some backflip. 9. 10. I've already got the full block. So let's use this turn for some safe cards I know I can get away with playing right now. Like Bane. Keep these 2. He's getting close to the point where I'd want to use Corpse Explosion, but not yet. We took a little bit of damage there, but not enough to be worried. Here's Bouncing Flask. We have so much energy. There's no worry about me running out of energy in a turn, so I can sit here and wait for my good cards to come out. What's he gonna do this turn? Is it weakness he applies? I can't remember. How does he debuff you? Regardless, I'm going to just wait. I can take the tiny bit of damage. Well, it's a bit of a waste of blur. Oh, it's draw reduction, isn't it? Okay, so I think this is the turn where he's going to try and heal up. 8. Is there much point in me playing any more cards here? Do I have any ability to apply more poison? Let's just blow him up now. Yeah, that was a nice chunk of damage. And then defend and backflip. Or 2 backflips even for next turn, so I'm really safe. I can use a weakness potion. I've got a draw potion. We've got plenty of energy. So 9 threes, 27. Dash. We already have as much as we need. And I think I'd like to start... If I blur this turn, I can start poisoning him next turn. Plus it covers any strength boost that he gets. The secret weapon isn't really working out for me that well, unfortunately. But he just can't keep up with the defense that I've got. I need to buff him a lot more than I'm doing right now for him to really start to get through that. I'm too safe with my ability to keep backflipping. This is another safe turn. I can just sit here. And I know that next turn I've already got 12 plus 19 block and the weakness, you know? And I have the energy that I need, so this is pretty much GG for this boy. Let's keep Corpse Explosion in leg sweep. Cocky as it is. So leg sweep for 19. He's going to do 45 to me now. I actually misplayed that slightly there. I just realized I don't really have the block for that. Hubris coming out there. Nearly got myself killed. Tisk tisk. But I think I have lethal this turn. And then Corpse Explosion. Nice. Nearly got myself killed there. But too easy, boys. I told you at the beginning of the run that this was going to be another slam dunk. I'm on top of my game, baby. Hit him up with the dirty Corpse Explosion for the overkill as well. Too easy. That's another run in the bank, in the vault. So that's going to be another episode of Slay the Spire. Nice and quick episode there. Poison block deck working out rather well against the Time Eater. Join me next time for Ascension level 8, where the elites are tougher. Welp. I've been Sinow. I hope you've enjoyed watching this, and I'll see you next time.